the steps last week, and I'd been a little lightheaded, so that's why I'm sitting up here. So, but I don't want to miss. So I was thinking about, we're doing the second chapter this week, the way it works, but I wanted to know what brought you to the center. I want you to really think about that. I know some of you maybe were raised in spiritual teachings, and maybe you had friends that dragged you here, or you're just curious. I want to tell you a little. My story might be a little long, but I want to tell you about my story. I was in Coco's one day, when we used to have Coco's over here, having breakfast, and there was a lady sitting across me, and she started talking to me, and I got to go to a depot, but I'm like, I'm talking. She said, can I come over and have breakfast with you? I go, sure. So anyway, she came over, and apparently she was a psychic, and she said, I just wanted to tell you, you have so many angels around you. I can see all these angels around you. And I go, oh, well, wow, that's interesting. Okay. And at that time, I was coming up Catholic. I'd been raised Catholic my life. My boys, get their first communion and everything. But I started listening to Marianne Williams, and I saw a sign here as I was driving down Portola that they had a spiritual bookstore open. So I came in here, and I talked to Lobeck. What was his first name? Jim Lobeck. He was running the bookstore at the time. And I came in here and talked to him about the center, and he told me about it and how spiritual it was and stuff. I said, oh, because I was looking for something spiritual. So I came that Sunday, and I sat back there, and I didn't like it. It was weird. It's like, where's Jesus' statue? Where's the Blessed Virgin? This place is cold. What is this? So I didn't come back. But then go forward a little bit, and I went to somebody here told me to go see this other, like, psychic or whatever. He told me, too, I had a bunch of angels all around me. Told Ryan he had what was it, Ryan, you had? A salamander in him. A salamander. Anyway, I thought that was weird. But anyway, I thought, okay, I've got angels, he's got a salamander. A little awkward. Yeah, he has something. So anyway, then what happened was I was in Costco, and I found Neil Donald Walsh's book, Conversation with God, Book 2. And I go, oh, that's interesting. I threw it in my basket, and that night I got in bed and started reading it. Second chapter, I was sobbing. I got out of my bed, and I was sobbing because I knew that spoke to me. That is the way I felt about God, that our oneness, that God always says yes. And I read that book that night, went and got book 1 the next day. Signed up for a workshop that Neil Donald Walsh was doing in Sedona. And it was coming right up, so I decided to go to it. And the night before I was going, I watched, I don't remember the name of the movie, but it was with Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan, where he was her angel. Do you remember that? So I'm watching it. I go, oh gosh, I got all these angels. I wish I knew what my angel's name was. And anyway, I just drove off. I went to Sedona, and there was a spiritual church there for a Sunday service. And I go, well, they have spiritual churches? So I stopped. I had a couple hours to get to my workshop with Neil. So I stopped, and I went into the church, and they were kind of weird. It was like a man and a woman. I think it was a husband and a wife. Anyway, they were talking, and I was like, okay. And I sat on this side, and the door out was over here. And I go, oh, that was a mistake. Did you feel that way when you came here? No. Anyway, so I go out, and I sit there, and I go, and they're up there talking. So after our talk, we're going to do a couple of readings. I go, oh, God, they're going to read from the Bible. I don't want to hear this. I got to giggle. Anyway, they finished whatever they were saying. I'm just waiting to go. he goes over here, and she comes right to me. And she goes, I have a message for you. You have 17 angels around you. And I want you to know that the name, there's a bunch of them, but the main name is Anna. And I said, okay, thank you. But it was just weird, to have that. So anyway, I thought that was pretty amazing, but it's like 3 people telling me this. So anyway, I went to Neil Donald Walsh, did the retreat. And it was amazing how many messages, when you listen to your heart, that tells you. I was sitting there, I brought my court reporting machine because I wanted to take notes. And then all of a sudden I'm saying, God, what am I doing here? Well, I shouldn't be a court reporter. I'm feeding off the miseries of other people. And the message that came to me was, no, Laura, you're the light wherever you go. You can be the light wherever you go. And so, anyway, a long story short, I did a bunch of stuff with Neil Donald Walsh. But what was important, what I wanted to tell you how I got here, is I went to church with Neil one day after we were doing some work up in Oregon. And it was an amazing church. I was like, oh my God, they have churches like this. And I talked to one of his employees there, and I said, oh my God, I wish I had a church like this where I live. And he goes, where are you from? And I said, Palm Desert. And he goes, I used to live in Palm Desert. You have one of the best churches there. You have Dr. Tom Costa's church. And I came that Sunday after I got back, and they were starting classes that Sunday. They were announcing classes for the next week, just like you had, and it changed my life. This changed my life. And so I hope for you that this is what happens to you, or it already has changed. But ask yourself what brought you here. There are no accidents in the universe. No accidents. So, week 2, this is hard to read, I'm sorry. Our thought and our, oh my God, I'm going to turn this way. Our thought and emotion is the use we make, consciously or unconsciously, of this original creative thing that is the cause of everything. Therefore, we shall say that the mind, spirit, and intelligence which we find in ourselves is as much of this original creative God as we understand. And that's by Ernest Holmes. Now, for me, I don't know if I would have first come here. That's the second chapter, the first paragraph. I don't know if that would have resonated with me. I don't know if I really would have felt it. That's why classes are so important, because they really explain it on a level that you can get it. So my talk this week is love is the way it works. I don't need all the dialogue, the spiritual stuff, which is good. That's why you take classes, to go to that depth, to understand it. But think of the love that you feel in your heart and that you experience. That makes a huge difference in your life. So, my eyes aren't good either. The universal mind is, oh Lord, the universal mind is not outside of us. It is within us. The life you are living right now, the breath you are breathing, the love you are capable of giving or receiving, all of it is God expressing as you. You are that divine love. You are that expression. You have that power to create the life you want, not live it in fear or less than, but to really feel that knowing, that oneness, because you do have that power. not only do you have that power, you are that power. The universe is always saying yes. So, going on. And if God is love, and God is love, then the life experiencing through you, expressing through you, thank you, is love. I'm going to have you guys read it. Expression.
This is why love heals.
Thank you. I need my glasses on.
This is why compassion restores. Love is not sentimental. Love is lawful. Love is the nature of the universal mind.
So does that make sense to you? Does that resonate with you? Can you really feel that? I gotta get a drink of water. Okay, I think I can go get it. Okay, they don't trust me. I think it's back there. Ryan put it for me. Anyway, so really live that. Really feel that. That power. You're not here by accident. Thank you, sweetheart. Don't we have a great team here? We have such a great team here. Thank you, guys. I love you guys. Anyway, so think about that. Life wasn't an accident. You might have had terrible things happen in your life, but where did you go from there? What did you learn? What did you decide you wanted to change? The thing is, the universe says yes. Now you think, well, God, if God always says yes, my life sucks. Well, who's creating that? You are. You're the one that thinks your life sucks. I've shared this story before, but where I reading Neil Donald Walsh and he says you have to choose what you want. You have to own it, choose it. Say, I have a divine life. My life is fulfilled. My life, I am so grateful for everything I have and everything I don't have. And my son, I told him that about you have to choose, and he went at the Catholic school. He went up to the Coke machine. He didn't have any money, and he said, I choose a Coke, and it came out. And so he called me that day. Go, Mom, you'll never guess what happened. I blah blah blah. I said I choose a Coke, and it came out of it. And I didn't have any money, and I said, oh well, that's interesting. And he goes, wait, there's more. He said after school I went in there again, and he said I chose again. I said I choose a Coke again, and he said, Mom, a Coke didn't fall out. And I go, oh, honey, well, you got one. He goes, no, a lot of change fell out. I had enough for a Coke, and I had change left over.
Where's this machine?
This is at Sacred Heart. No. The other one, that's St. Teresa's. Anyway, so that's it. What are you choosing in your life? If you're looking at the negative and say, oh, only crap happens to me. That's my snarky mouth. This stuff doesn't work. No, it doesn't work because you don't believe it doesn't work. You don't believe you have that power. And so that's what you need to do. And love is everything. Love is your power. Love is the power. So the things your heart is finally ready for, your heart is finally ready for
softness after years of survival mode. Ready for people who feel safe, steady, and genuine. Ready for opportunities that match the person you're becoming. Ready to let go of what hurts you without letting it harden you. And ready to receive the kind of peace you used to think was impossible.
So that's how I want you to leave here today. I want you to leave. When I get my chemo, they give me steroids. And I love those steroids because I'm like, except my legs haven't gotten the message. But anyway, so if you want to, you can find a million reasons to hate life. God knows there could be a million reasons, right? Right? And be angry at the world. Or if you want to, you could find a million reasons to love life and be happy and choose wisely. That's why I love coming here. I feel the love in this room. I feel all of you. I'm so grateful for each one of you that's here. You know, yesterday I wasn't feeling that well, and my son from Temecula with his family called. They wanted to come, and I go, oh, Ryan, no, I don't feel like having any company. And he heard me on the phone. And I felt really badly about that. So I called back and said, I am so sorry. I said, I don't feel really good, but I do want you here. And they came, and it made the day. And so, you know, you have to choose wisely. So when you can control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond to what's happening. That's where your power is. That's where your power is. So keep fighting for the good. Keep showing up. Keep loving. Keep giving back. Keep being kind. Keep being brave. Keep caring. Keep trying new things. Keep showing grace. Keep on. The world needs you to believe in the good. And God knows we're seeing a lot of stuff right now that feels contrary to that. But what are we carrying? What is we can't talk and speak for everybody, but we can speak for ourselves, and we can put that energy in the universe. So I choose love. I choose inclusion. I choose empathy, compassion, equality, dignity, diversity. I choose community, kindness, integrity, honesty, respect. I choose justice. I choose facts, peace, the planet. I choose humanity. I choose love, because that is what it takes. It takes love. So love is misinterpreted as an emotion. In reality, it is a state of consciousness, a way of being in the world, a way of being oneself seeing oneself and others. That's what this center is about. It is about love. That's what you learn here. That's what you feel here. I'm hoping that's what you feel here. And that's what you bring here. So, love is the way it works, so work it. Yeah. Work it. And stop focusing on how stressed you are, and remember how blessed you are. I love you. Thank you, Steve.